The story of Mulholland Drive is the story of Diane Selwyn's disassociation from reality in order to cope with her acknowledgment of her own failure in real life, ultimately ending in her suicide. Now, that said, the meaning of the film, I believe, is really to convey to actors, aspiring actresses and actors in Hollywood that it's a dangerous game, and that Hollywood can breed dreamers, and Hollywood can breed failures. Essentially, just how in the movie people can get recasted, and just how in any movie people get recasted, what Lynch is highlighting is that no matter how hard an aspiring actor or actress can work, no matter how much effort they put into this, some of these things, they can be recasted, essentially ending their life in that movie, ending their career. And when you're an actor, it's kind of funny because you're playing someone else's life. So when you get recasted or when you get kicked off a film, that life for you that you were living literally ends. It's sort of symbolic of the ending of someone's life, similar to how we see the end of Betty and we see the end of the ultimate demise of Diane Selwyn. And that this is a reality, that people get recasted and the show goes on. Now, Lynch is warning people, warning aspiring actors out there with this movie. That said, reoccurring themes in the film, the first one I'd like to mention, or I believe is worth mentioning, is the reoccurring theme of illusion. This is exemplified with the first half of the film being with Betty and Rita, which are really just manifestations of Diane Selwyn's subconscious, because the first half of the film is Diane Selwyn's dream. The second half of the film is Diane's waking state or real life, in which we see the tragic ending of an aspiring actress's life. The second theme I'd like to mention is the reoccurring theme of people's outrageous fear of failure. Now, this is seen in the first Winky's Diner scene, in which Dan describes a dream that he's having, this reoccurring terrible feeling, frightening feeling, and then he and his colleague go down and they're in an alley and they see this monster-looking thing, and that monster is really just a manifestation of his own fear of failing, and that's his image of failure relative to him, and it nearly kills him. Similarly, Betty and Rita in apartment 17 see a corpse lying on a bed. Now, of course, it's not Betty's manifestation of fear, it's Diane Selwyn's. Hers is happening in a dream, just like how Dan's was happening in a dream. And that's the second theme. It reoccurs in Diane Selwyn's dream and in Dan's dream. Now, these two play off each other and make the movie really interesting, because what Lynch is sort of saying that they are really a double-edged sword, that you really can't have one without the other, or that our fears are also illusions. If we see the manifestations of our fears in dreams, and dreams are an illusion, then our fears are also an illusion. However, backwards, in real life, our fears create our illusions. So they play off each other in that regard, and I think that's very clever for David Lynch to point that out and bring that to the movie industry. It's very complex and fundamentally it's an intellectually inspiring philosophical subject. Now, the way the film was shot is very interesting. Somewhat, I don't want to say typical, because it's definitely not typical, but maybe in the genre that it's in, surrealism. He uses a lot of methods that you would expect from a movie in the surrealism genre, such as dream logic or no logic in sequitur scenes. The constant cuts and non-linear layout in which the plot is developed is definitely is significant and relative to the surrealism genre. And another great scene is in Club Silencio. Probably one of the more powerful scenes of the movie is when the singer who is singing a sad song, it's in Spanish, about, really it's a breakup song, but she dies on stage and then is removed by stagehands, and her voice is still heard. That song still continues as if she is, it's a recording. She is dead, but the show goes on. And this was the meaning of the film. This is what I believe Lynch was trying to describe to his audience, is that in film, your character can die, you can get recasted, you can be out of work and unemployed, and the show goes on without you. And he's warning those that, Hollywood, it's a rough spot. And I think that can extend further into other walks of life, but that's not what Mulholland Drive was about.